Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Bytes.
Yes, welcome back, everyone.
Today's deep dive is going to take us into the world of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Faust.
Ooh, fun.
We're going to unpack this epic tale of ambition, knowledge,
Right.
and that eternal struggle between good and evil.
Hmm.
It's a story that really gets to the core of what it means to be human.
Yeah,
And it's full of these incredibly vivid scenes and characters that just stick with you.
absolutely.
I mean, right off the bat, we're introduced to Faust, this brilliant scholar who has achieved success in every academic field imaginable, but he's still deeply dissatisfied.
Yeah, he's hit a wall, right?
Yeah,
He realizes that all of his knowledge doesn't bring him any closer to understanding the true meaning of life.
exactly. And it's a feeling I think many people can probably relate to,
Oh, yeah.
that yearning for something more, something beyond the everyday world.
Absolutely. And think about it.
Yeah.
You dedicate your life to learning. You master philosophy, medicine, law, theology, and you still come up empty.
Right.
That's Faust's crisis.
Yeah, and that yearning leads him down a dangerous path. I mean, he even contemplates suicide in this really powerful scene in his study.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that moment where he's about to drink poison?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the Easter bells ringing.
It's like this last glimmer of hope that kind of pulls him back from the brink.
Right.
Goethe uses that scene to set the stage for Faust's spiritual journey.
I see.
It's not just about knowledge anymore. It's about experience. It's about connecting with something larger than himself.
Exactly.
He even tries summoning the earth's spirit, this primordial force of nature, but it completely overwhelms him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's bitten off more than he can chew, and that's when Mephistopheles enters the picture.
Oh, right.
This cunning, charming devil who offers Faust a way out of his despair.
Yeah. Mephistopheles is the embodiment of temptation, right?
Yes.
And he presents Faust with a deal that seems irresistible.
Yeah.
A chance to experience everything life has to offer, to indulge in every pleasure and passion
Right.
in exchange for his soul.
Talk about high stakes.
It really is, right?
It's a classic Faustian bargain, and it raises so many questions about the price of knowledge
Yeah.
and the seductive power of worldly experience.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if anyone could resist that kind of offer.
Right. Well, that's the core dilemma of the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a price too high to pay for fulfillment? Faust is willing to take that gamble.
Okay.
He believes that he'll never experience a moment of complete satisfaction, so he's confident he won't lose the bet.
So they set off on this wild journey, and one of the first stops is Auerbach's cellar, this rowdy tavern where Mephistopheles shows off his power by playing tricks on the drunken patrons.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like a warning sign, for like, hey, look what I can do. Just imagine the adventures we'll have.
It's also a reminder that Mephistopheles is a master manipulator.
Yeah.
He understands human desires, and he knows exactly how to exploit them.
Right.
And he's not just offering Faust fleeting pleasures, he's promising him access to knowledge and power beyond anything he could imagine.
And to make Faust more appealing to the world, Mephistopheles takes him to a witch's kitchen for a magical transformation.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the most visually striking scenes in the book.
For sure.
All these bubbling potions and talking animals. It's like something out of a surrealist painting.
The witch's kitchen represents the dark side of knowledge, the kind of forbidden wisdom that can be both alluring and dangerous. And Faust, in his pursuit of experience, is willing to embrace even the most grotesque and unsettling elements of this magical world.
It's like he's shedding his old identity, becoming someone new, someone capable of experiencing the world with fresh eyes and heightened senses. And of course, that leads him to Gretchen.
Oh, yeah.
Gretchen is the embodiment of innocence and purity. She represents a kind of idealized love that Faust in his transformed state finds irresistible. And Mephistopheles, being the puppet master he is, orchestrates their meeting,
Of course.
knowing it'll play a key role in his bet with Faust. Their first encounter is so beautifully written. You can feel the intensity of Faust's attraction and Gretchen's naivete. It's this classic tale of seduction, but with the added layer of the devil's influence making it even more tragic.
Goethe is a master at creating these complex, multi-layered characters. Gretchen isn't just a pawn in the devil's game. She's a fully realized person with her own desires and vulnerabilities. And her story becomes a powerful exploration of love, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of unchecked passion.
Their relationship unfolds so quickly.
It does.
Moving from innocent flirtation to passionate declarations of love. There's even that famous balcony scene
Oh, right.
where they
Yeah.
exchange vows, and it's so bittersweet knowing the tragedy that's about to unfold.
Think about the famous line from that scene. For while, doch du bist so schön.
Yeah.
Linger a while, you are so beautiful. It foreshadows Faust's eventual downfall, his desire to cling to fleeting moments of pleasure.
Right, even in this early stage of their love story, the seeds of destruction are already being sown.
Absolutely, and it's not just destruction for Faust, it's destruction for Gretchen, too. She becomes pregnant, faces social ostracization, and is ultimately driven to madness and despair by the consequences of their affair.
It's heartbreaking to witness her downfall, especially knowing that it's partly orchestrated by Mephistopheles.
Gretchen's tragedy serves as a stark contrast to the increasingly fantastical and often absurd adventures that Faust and Mephistopheles embark on.
Yeah.
It's like Goethe is showing us a duality of human experience, the light and the darkness, the joy and the suffering, all intertwined.
And that duality is on full display during the Walpurgis night.
Oh, yeah.
This wild, chaotic gathering of witches and spirits that Faust and Mephistopheles attend. It's a scene full of surreal imagery and dark humor.
Yeah.
A stark contrast to Gretchen's suffering back in the human world.
But even amidst the revelry, Faust can't escape the consequences of his actions.
Right.
He has a fleeting vision of Gretchen in chains, a foreshadowing of her imprisonment, and the price he'll ultimately pay for his pact with the devil.
It's like a moment of clarity piercing through the fog of his desires.
Yeah.
He's starting to see the true cost of his choices, and it's terrifying. And that realization sets the stage for the climax of part one.
Right.
Faust, consumed by guilt and remorse, decides to rescue Gretchen from prison, even if it means defying Mephistopheles and jeopardizing his own soul.
It's a race against time, a desperate attempt to right the wrongs he's committed. It all builds to this incredibly tense and heartbreaking scene in the dungeon where Gretchen, now mentally unstable, refuses to leave with him.
It's a moment of pure tragedy.
It really is.
And a powerful reminder of the destructive power of unchecked ambition. And as Gretchen's soul is carried away,
Oh, gosh.
Mephistopheles utters those chilling words, "She is judged," leaving us to wonder about Faust's fate and the ultimate meaning of his journey. What does this tragic ending tell us about the nature of good and evil, about the possibility of redemption? That's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive as we delve into the even more expansive and complex world of Faust Part 2. But before we do, what stands out to you about Part 1? What are you left pondering?
Well, let's see. Well, I think as we move into Faust Part 2, the scope of the story expands dramatically.
It does.
It's no longer just about, Faust's personal struggles.
Right.
It's about his engagement with history, politics, art.
Wow.
Even the very essence of creation. Think of it as a journey through the heights and depths of human endeavor.
Okay.
All with that Faustian yearning for something more,
Yeah.
driving him forward.
So after the tragedy of Gretchen's death, we find Faust in a completely different setting.
Yeah.
He's awakened in a magical realm surrounded by nature spirits, and it's almost as if the memory of Gretchen is fading, or at least being pushed aside. It makes you wonder if he's truly dealing with his guilt, or simply trying to bury it under new experiences.
You have to ask yourself, can you truly escape the consequences of your actions?
Right.
Is forgetting a form of forgiveness,
Yeah.
or is it just a way of delaying the inevitable reckoning?
Yeah.
Faust's journey through this second part is, in many ways, a search for answers to those very questions.
And his journey takes him to some pretty unexpected places.
It does.
He's no longer just a scholar in his study.
Right.
He's interacting with emperors, engaging in political schemes, attending lavish court gatherings. It's like he's stepped onto a grander stage, and his ambitions have grown accordingly.
Remember, Faust made a deal for experience, for knowledge, for power.
He did.
And Mephistopheles, true to his word, is giving him access to those things.
Right.
But always with a twist, he's exposing Faust to the complexities of the world, showing him the allure and the danger of these grand pursuits.
One of the most striking examples of this is the scene where Faust helps the emperor solve an economic crisis by introducing paper money.
Oh.
It's a brilliant commentary on the nature of wealth and how easily it can be manipulated.
Yeah.
It's almost like Goethe was anticipating the dangers of financial speculation centuries before they became a reality.
Interesting.
And it's not just economics that Faust delves into.
Right.
He becomes deeply involved in the world of art and beauty. And that's where we encounter Helen of Troy,
Oh, wow.
a figure who represents the ultimate ideal of classical beauty. The relationship is passionate and intense, but it's also fleeting and ultimately tragic, mirroring the themes of Part 1.
It's like a replay of the Gretchen storyline, but on a more mythical scale, you have this incredible beauty, this passionate love affair.
Right.
But it's all built on a foundation of illusion and manipulation orchestrated by Mephistopheles.
Hmm.
And just like with Gretchen, it ends in heartbreak and loss.
The parallels between Gretchen and Helen of Troy are really fascinating.
They are.
Both represent different aspects of feminine beauty and the allure they hold for Faust.
Yeah.
Gretchen embodies a more innocent earthly beauty, while Helen represents an idealized, almost divine beauty.
Okay.
But both relationships ultimately end in tragedy, perhaps suggesting that true fulfillment cannot be found in the pursuit of external beauty alone.
Yeah, and the tragedy of their relationship is further emphasized by the fate of their son, Euphorion.
Oh, right.
He's this embodiment of artistic inspiration and youthful energy, but he's also reckless and ultimately meets a tragic end.
Right.
It's like a symbol of the fleeting nature of beauty and the dangers of unbridled ambition.
Euphorion's story is one of the most symbolic and multi-layered in Faust.
It is.
Some critics see him as a representation of the Romantic movement itself, with its soaring aspirations and tragic downfall. It's a reminder that even the most brilliant and creative endeavors can be fragile and fleeting.
Yeah, so even though Faust is experiencing all these incredible things, traveling through time, engaging with powerful figures, he's still haunted by loss and a sense of unfulfilled longing.
Right. Is that the point of the bet? That no matter what he achieves, he'll never be truly content?
It's certainly a key element of the wager. Remember Mephistopheles' bet that he could provide Faust with a moment of pure satisfaction, a moment so perfect that he would want to freeze time and declare, "This is it, I found ultimate happiness." But throughout part 2, we see Faust constantly striving, always reaching for something more,
Right.
never fully satisfied with what he has.
It's like he's trapped on this treadmill of desire driven by his insatiable curiosity and ambition. And you have to wonder, is that a uniquely Faustian trait?
Right.
Or is it something we all struggle with to some extent?
Yeah. Are we all wired to always want more?
Yeah.
To never be content with the present moment?
That's one of the questions that Goethe seems to be posing through Faust.
Yeah.
He's exploring the very nature of human desire and asking whether it's a blessing or a curse.
Is it a force that propels us forward,
Yeah.
leading to innovation and progress, or is it a trap that keeps us eternally restless,
Right.
always yearning for something just beyond our grasp?
And that brings us to one of the most intriguing and thought-provoking elements of part 2.
Okay.
The creation of the homunculus. This artificial being born through alchemical processes represents Faust's desire to push the boundaries of knowledge,
Yeah.
to even control life itself. It's a theme that feels incredibly relevant in our own time with all the advancements in biotechnology and artificial intelligence.
Imagine creating life in a lab. Goethe was exploring that concept centuries ago,
Wow.
raising questions about the ethical implications and the potential consequences of such power.
Right.
The homunculus serves as a symbol of Faust's restless intellect, but it also raises questions about the limits of human knowledge
Right.
and the potential dangers of playing God.
It's a reminder that knowledge can be a double-edged sword.
For sure.
It can lead to incredible advancements, but it can also be used for destructive purposes. And Faust, in his pursuit of ultimate knowledge, seems to be walking a very fine line. Do you think he's ultimately crossing that line? Is he becoming a danger to himself and others?
That's a question that hangs over much of part 2.
Yeah.
As Faust becomes more powerful and his ambitions grow, the potential for both good and evil expands, and we see him wrestling with those choices, trying to determine where his true path lies.
So as we approach the end of part 2, we have Faust, this incredibly complex character, having experienced the heights of power and the depths of loss, still searching for meaning and fulfillment. He's achieved so much, yet he seems further away than ever from that moment of pure satisfaction that Mephistopheles promised him. How does Goethe resolve this incredible journey? Does Faust find redemption? Does he succumb to the devil's bargain?
The ending of Faust is one of the most debated and interpreted in all of literature. It's full of symbolism, ambiguity, and profound philosophical questions. It's a culmination of everything we've explored in both parts.
No.
The nature of good and evil, the limits of knowledge, the power of love and loss, and the possibility of transcendence. And that's where we'll pick up in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But before we do, what has struck you the most about Faust's journey through part 2? What resonates with you?
We left off with Faust at the end of part 2, having experienced so much worldly success and, profound personal loss. He's seen empires rise and fall.
He's really been through it.
He has dabbled in the creation of artificial life,
Yeah.
even journeyed through time and myth.
Right.
It all begs the question,
Yeah.
after all that,
Hmm.
what's left for a man like Faust?
Right, what could possibly satisfy that relentless yearning
Yeah.
for something more?
And that's precisely the question Goethe grapples with.
Yeah.
In these final moments of Faust,
Right.
we find Faust as an old man nearing the end of his extraordinary life.
Yeah, he's achieved great things, built cities, drained swamps, spearheaded massive engineering projects, but he's still wrestling with his past,
Oh, wow.
with the choices he's made and the consequences that he set in motion.
So he's facing his mortality, knowing that Mephistopheles is waiting to claim his prize. Does he finally give in to despair? Does he regret the deal he made?
Surprisingly, no, instead of dwelling on past regrets, Faust experiences a profound shift in perspective.
Interesting.
He realizes that true fulfillment lies not in individual moments of pleasure or even grand accomplishments, but in selfless service to others.
Mm,
He envisions a future where people are working together
yeah.
to build a better world, a world free from poverty, suffering, and injustice.
Wow.
It's a vision that transcends his own personal desires
Right.
and connects him to something much larger than himself.
That's a pretty radical shift for someone
Yeah.
who spent most of his life chasing after knowledge and power.
I know. It's almost like he's finally understanding the true meaning
Yeah.
of the something more he's been yearning for all along.
Exactly. And it's in this moment of selfless vision
Right.
that Faust utters those famous words again.
Oh, really?
Verweil doch, du bist so schön. But this time he's not referring to a fleeting moment of personal satisfaction or the beauty of a woman.
Okay.
He's talking about the beauty of human potential. The potential for us to create a better world through collective effort.
It's so interesting how Goethe takes those same words that earlier represented Faust's potential downfall
Yeah.
and transforms them into a statement of hope and redemption. It's like he's suggesting that our desires aren't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's the intention behind them that matters.
And it's that shift in intention that ultimately changes the terms of the bet.
Yeah, Faust isn't seeking personal gain anymore.
Okay.
He's focused on the well-being of others. He's striving not for himself, but for humanity.
So does this mean he wins his soul back? Does he escape the clutches of Mephistopheles?
That's where the ending becomes beautifully ambiguous.
Okay.
Angels descend, proclaiming that he who strives unceasingly him we can redeem,
Wow.
suggesting that Faust's commitment to selfless action might have earned him salvation.
Right.
However, the text doesn't explicitly state that Faust escapes his deal with Mephistopheles.
Okay.
Goethe leaves it open to interpretation, allowing us to ponder the complexities of morality and the possibility of redemption, even for someone who's made grave mistakes.
It's a powerful ending that invites us to consider what truly matters in life.
Yeah.
Is it about accumulating knowledge, achieving worldly success, or indulging in every pleasure? Or is it about finding meaning in something larger than ourselves
Right.
and contributing to the betterment of humanity?
And I think that's the enduring legacy of Faust.
Yeah.
It's not just a story about a man who makes a deal with the devil.
Right.
It's a profound exploration of the human condition. It challenges us to examine our own desires, our ambitions, and the choices we make in the pursuit of fulfillment.
Yeah, it asks us to consider what we're willing to sacrifice, what we're striving for, and whether our pursuits ultimately lead us towards darkness or light. Faust is a story that stays with you long after you finish reading. It prompts reflection, sparks debate, and invites us to grapple with some of life's most fundamental questions. It's a testament to Goethe's genius, that he created a work that continues to resonate with readers centuries later. And for those of you who haven't experienced Faust yet, I highly encourage you to dive into this incredible work. It's a journey you won't soon forget.
Faust is a testament to the power of literature to illuminate the human experience,
Yeah.
to challenge our assumptions and to inspire us to strive for something more. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections on this complex and fascinating work.
Absolutely.
So feel free to share your insights with us online or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world of ideas.